Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and it's Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. Little afternoon, and we're coming into Camp Verde, Arizona, and we're on a road trip today. And so I figured while I'm over here, I'd give you a quick windshield tour of Camp Verde. Now we're coming in from the, I guess, the quietest road, or the least traffic road. And this is Arizona State Route 260 West. And there's a big Forest Service facility right over there. And we're getting ready to come into Camp Verde from the east side. And most of the traffic that comes into Camp Verde comes off the Interstate 17 side, which is on the west side. And we'll show you that one a little bit later. But right now we're crossing the bridge across the Verde River. And the Verde River is a major tributary, drains a lot of central Arizona and the near northwest side of Arizona. Now, Camp Verde was originally settled as a support town for a cavalry post, which is called Fort Verde, and we're going to show you that. Some of those old buildings are still here. We're coming into the older part of town right now, and this is going to be a two-parter because I'm going to take you on two different loops here, and I'm on the way to a tribal casino, and I'm going to end up meeting up with some viewers, and that's why I'm over here. And I figured I'd take advantage of this while we're here. And now this road that we're on, we're getting ready to turn off it, but if we kept going this way, this is actually the State Route 260 bypass that actually goes around old Camp Verde. But we're going to go through the old part of town here, and we're going to actually do that both ways here before the day's over. The Fort Verde's now a state park, and some of the old original cavalry buildings are still there, and which is pretty cool. It was a major post back in the 1870s for controlling the Indian issue here. They had a lot of problem with the Yavapai tribe, and so they now we're coming right into downtown, old downtown Camp Verde. And this is a historic town. There's a lot of old buildings and stuff here. They've rebuilt it over the years and kind of made it pretty. And I know some of you like the windshield tours, and I like doing them actually. That's right. Over here on our left, of course, is the fire station. And of course, you always got to show the fire station. It looks like the boys are home. But the fire department here is a fire district, a large fire district. It covers several of these little communities. And it's called the Copper Canyon Fire District. And right here you see the Fort Verde State Historic Park sign, and we're going to turn and take you in there right quick like. I don't know how much of this I can show you. This might be a pay thing where you got to pay to go in here. And there's some of the old officer quarters. This is the old parade ground, Fort Verde State Historic Park. Parking lot here. I guess we can get turned around in here. This isn't wasn't a cavalry fort like you see in the movies where they had the big timber walls and stuff, but this was a pretty significant and important outpost at the time. Once again, we'll get back up here and not sure what that old building used to be, but that's the office now. And once again, here's another look at the parade ground and some of the old officers' quarters here. That's a quick look at Fort Verde. This is the school. Camp Verde's another one of those towns that was originally built when everybody walked everywhere, so everything was kind of packed in here kind of close because everybody didn't have cars and didn't drive every place they're going. Now we're going to get back on the road back through town. There isn't really much to this. It's a business district. It's pretty small, but we're going to let this run for a little bit because I'm going to show you some other stuff. And this intersection we're coming up on right now is there's a shopping center over there. But this intersection that we're coming up on right now is pretty important. So we'll be back to that, and we'll come in from that other way a little bit later. But right now we're going out a road called Middle Verde Road, and I'll let this run until we get up to where we're going. It's really pretty down in here. It's down along not too far off the creek, and big fancy new library building up here. It's been there for a few years. I don't remember exactly how long, but it's not really all that old, but it's pretty spectacular building anyway. Camp Verde Community Library. A lot of farms, and we're going back across another bridge back across the Verde again, and this bridge is bridge referred to as the Black Bridge. I'm not sure where that got that name, but this little place right here on the left, I'll show it to you when we get up here. Was a family farm for a long time, and in season they actually sold their crops here, like under that little shade structure over there. And they did a lot of corn, and their corn was really good. And we used to drive all the way over here and just load up on their sweet corn. But this middle Verde Road here, as you can tell, the trees are just starting to leaf out, and it's really pretty a little bit later on in the summer. You can see some pretty places in here. I'm sure most of these places have been owned by the same family for generations. Farms over on this side as well. Camp Verde's kind of spread out, so basically we're just kind of showing you a little sliver of it here in this segment, and then I'll show you the little bit more of it here on the other way. But we're coming up by the high school. As you can imagine, for a town like this, their football team is called the Camp Verde Cowboys. It's Camp Verde Elementary first, and then the high school is next to it. Home of the Cowboys. So now we're kind of leaving Camp Verde, and we're actually not quite sure where the boundary is here. Maybe there's a sign, but we're entering tribal land, and we're going to come up here to a place called the Cliff Castle Casino, and that's where we're going to stop. That's where we're going to meet our folks at. And I got a viewer who actually works there, and hopefully he's working today. I'm going to look him up and surprise him because he doesn't know I'm coming. As you can see, this is pretty open country in here. Open desert country. There's our casino right over there. High-rise building. I've stopped by here and ate a couple times. I don't know a lot about this place. If you turn right here at this intersection, it takes you to Montezuma Castle National Monument. And there's a This is a stop and go light. There's our casino called Cliff Castle Casino. And that big old hotel. I'm going to figure out how to get in there. I think there's an entrance up here at a roundabout, I think. It's been quite a while since I've been over here to try to go in here. Yeah, here we go. The Yavapai Apache Nation. We're going to go around this roundabout. Camp Verde Marshall. Last time I was here, I parked over here, but I was going to the restaurant, so I think I'm going to see if there's a place over on this side to park by the hotel. Probably end up down there is probably where I'll end up. That's a valet parking, so I guess we'll be down here at this parking lot. Yeah, I see. Gotta see a spot right here. They even got a parking garage over there, boy. I guess they're interested in being big time. There must be a meeting here. The city of Maricopa is way down in Pinal County, south of Metro Phoenix. I'm going to turn you off for now, and I'll come back and bring you some more here after a while. All right, it's a little after 4, and my meetup was over. I had a very, very nice visit, and so we're getting ready to leave. There's the main entrance to the casino, and we're sneaking back out the door we came in on, or the driveway I should say that we came in on. Oh, hit that speed bump a little hard there. And there you can kind of see down below, there's the roundabout that we're going to go to. And then that bridge right over there is actually across Interstate 17. And what we're going to do is we're going to take Interstate 17 back down to the main route into Camp Verde, and we're going to take you back in through Camp Verde the other direction. Another roundabout coming off of the off-ramp on the interstate. Now if we went this direction, we go to Flagstaff, I-17 north. We're going to go I-17 south, and it's probably going to be into the sun a little bit. Looks like on this side of the freeway they did not put a roundabout in. It's the old-fashioned way. So we're going to go 17 south toward Phoenix. It's only a few miles, so I'm going to let the camera run. That's a casino's RV park right over there. We've never stayed in that one. You can see it over there. I'm gonna kick it in the butt now and drive down the freeway here. This Interstate 17 is it's the major route between the Metro Phoenix area and Flagstaff, and ties into Interstate 40. Coming back down in that band of trees up there is the Verde River again. There we go. 1.5 miles to turn off Cottonwood and go to Payson. So when we get off at that exit, if we were to turn right, we'd go to Cottonwood, and if we turn left, we'll go back through Camp Verde and then go back to Payson. And so I'm going to show you that part of it. And there it is, 260 to Cottonwood and Payson, 1 mile. Going back across the Verde River again. We'll cross it one more time before we're done. Another big old RV park. That's a fairly new one, RV resort. That's a pretty fancy place. So here's our getting off on our exit. Caught the light just right. And back across the bridge. There goes I-17 down toward the Metro Phoenix area. This part of Camp Verde, the locals have nicknamed this Hamburger Corner, because obviously there's a lot of burger joints there. This that yellow thing over there is a Cocopelli, and that thing is, according to their claims anyway, that's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the biggest Cocopelli there is. And Cocopelli by Indian lore, he was a trickster. He was kind of the comedian, and one of the other things he did is he allegedly by lore he kept the widow ladies happy. So you can figure out what that means on your own. There's a little bit of an industrial area here in Camp Verde. You can see some industrial looking kind of stuff over there. Actually, that looks almost like some apartments or something. I'm not sure what it is. But when I showed you the first segment, I showed you on this is State Route 260 West. And I mentioned that we turned and we went into Old Town Camp Verde, and that if we'd have gone straight, we'd have taken the bypass. And that's what's happening here too. If we go straight here, we would go on the bypass. But we're going to take you back down through downtown Camp Verde. Boy, the traffic light gods are being kind to me today, aren't they? There's the sign entrance to Camp Verde, home of Fort Verde State Park. O'Reilly Auto Parts and AutoZone, 3 doors apart. That seems a little strange, doesn't it? There's not a whole lot to Camp Verde. And they've got Bash's Supermarket up here. The Walmart, of course, is in Cottonwood, and that's about 15 miles away. Built this big, nice new Circle K. That was no, last time I was through here, that had just been finished. The shopping center over there. Another look at that shopping center. The light's going to change here in a second. There we go. Not a lot of traffic, which is good. My wife's been kind of giving me a hard time because it's technically holding the camera like this while I'm driving is technically against the law in the state of Arizona. And hopefully nobody will watch my video and come and give me a ticket for doing this, but I try not to do it when the traffic's real bad. I try only to do it when the traffic's light. That's why I don't do it in the big city. I told you a little bit ago to remember this intersection up here. And this is that intersection that I told you about before. We came in that direction and we ended up going over that direction. So we'll keep the camera on when we go back on through the other way through old downtown Camp Verde. Back to the left there is back down to the state park where I showed you before. And of course there's the fire station. They got interestingly enough, they got more stuff, fire station bays and everything back over here. The on-duty crew responds out of that, and they got a bunch of spare trucks and water tenders and brush trucks and stuff like that in the other buildings. And there we got a motel over there. That's been cleaned up and changed quite a bit since the last time I was here. Back down to State Route 260 again. We're going to make a left turn here. Once again, the traffic light god smiled at me. And it's about 57 miles back to Payson from here. So we'll take you back across one last trip across the bridge, across the Verde River. And then we'll wrap this one up. I mentioned the Verde River starts way up in kind of northwest Arizona and ends up running into the Salt River way down by the Metro Phoenix area. So there's the bridge, and see how much, if you can get you a shot of how much water. There's the water down there. Can't see much, but with that, I think I'll tell you, as I always do, take care of each other and love each other and according to this sign here, I got 57 miles to drive to get home, and so that'll be probably about an hour. So with that, I think I'll tell you goodbye. It's been a good day, and we'll talk to you again on another one pretty quick. I enjoyed my visit with the 2 viewers there, and there's nothing more to do. Give you one more look at the road in front of us, and until I talk to you again, peace out.